How's it going, guys? It's your boy, Lieutenant Dan, here with none other than the only man that can get as mad as this guy right here, Mad Mike Sports. We in here. We in here. We're trying to be in here, right? Like we're trying to report on the news, trying to keep
I
ourselves.
think we're trying to. We're trying to. I've been on a little bit of a hiatus, um, getting the juices flowing again. It's been a long season, long three games for me. So yeah, I'm getting a little bit rejuvenated, man. I'm good to go. I'm ready, man. But yeah, I'm the only man that can get as angry, as mad as angry Dan.
It's it is. There's lots to be angry about. There's lots
Oh
to
yeah.
be upset about, but we're gonna try to take some positive spins on it today. I want to say rise up to the grounders and all the people in here: Pantera, Trucker B, Joe Houston, Taylor McPherson, Brazilian X Skills, Mike being in here, Dexter Vlash, John Thompson, Jack Savage. Good to see all of you guys in here. Terrence Uno. Jamal's in the building. Good to see all of you guys rise up, stay ground. I hope you're all doing well. Look, man, let's start it out like this. We lost Keanu Neal for the season, man. We lost
Uh,
Keanu Neal for the season. Now they're of course trying out a couple of guys. They got a guys off the practice squad to come in and potentially be there. Kamal Ishmael could be your guy, setting up to be, he's going to be your strong safety for the season. And I have a question for Mad Mike, and I think all the Falcons fans in the chat probably want to hear what's the answer to this question here. That with the defense that we're playing currently right now, do you think that any of the guys that they brought in or any of the guys that are currently on the roster can step up like Keanu can do, as the current player that we were all hoping would have a completely healthy 2019 and then he's gone until 2020. You think there's anybody on this roster right now that can potentially get us back to where we need to be as far as the strong safety position is concerned on this roster? Or do you think this is, the beginning of hard times for Atlanta?
Dan hates when I say this, but
Oh,
we just have to wait and see. We
ah!
seriously have to.
I knew it was coming. Why'd I
Yeah,
even ask? Why'd I even ask?
you have to wait and see, man. We have to wait and see. But I will say this about Kamal Ishmael. He does have the ability to play strong safety in the way that Dan Quinn wants, and that's pretty much to be a box safety, that the eighth man in the box. Coverage skills is a little lacking. Lil is kind of putting it nicely, but I think in passing situation, the Falcons will be all right. I think they can bring in a guy in passing situations like a KZ. Allen may be able to fill that role at times in passing situations. Sherrod
Yeah.
Neesman is a guy that I think he could, fill in as a safety, that eighth man in the box at times. But Kamal Ishmael, I'm convinced. I've seen enough from him that pretty much states to me that he has that capability of being that eighth man in the box to help, run support.
Yeah, I think it's, as much as I hate to say it, I think it's a wait and see mentality with this strong safety position because, I mean, let's put it at this perspective. We talked about it earlier in the week, Grounders, where we talked a little bit about how, hey, this safety position is going to be something that we're going to have to look at. This safety position, not even knowing if Keanu Neal is going to come back 100% healthy. This safety
Right.
position is going to be a sore spot because there will be people that have hurt feelings by the end of it if, say, Allen and KZ don't
Ooh,
get retained. You
ooh.
know, and it's something that we don't want to discuss because we're always like, only take it 1 week at a time. But when I said it earlier this week, I meant it when I said that there's the potential that these guys don't come back either due to injury or level of play, not just
Hmm.
familiarity or the leadership skills or qualities that they bring. So like now that we have to kind of come back, we got to look at this roster as a whole, and we go, where are guys going to succeed? Who can definitely come in and be the ones to kind of set up, put this in a better perspective? You know, who can come out here and give us the best opportunities to succeed? And the more that I look at it, the more that I say this is going to be an issue for the Falcons going forward. This defense had these injury issues 2018, and now we're seeing some of those injury issues begin to come back in 2019 with almost the same characters. Grady Jarrett with some nicked up injuries, Tack McKinley with some nicked up injuries. The backups are having to come in and kind of play a little extra. The linebacker play has not been what it needs to be, even though Deion Jones is healthy, and knock on wood that Deion Jones continues to stay healthy, because if we have Deion go down again, we're going to have some major issues. But Keanu Neal gets injured, and Allen, although he has come up in spurts, has not been the athlete that you want going forward to lead this team, and some will argue against that. I will say level of play has been okay, but it could definitely be better. Now we get to the root of the problem here where, you know, Mad Mike's like, hey, we're going to have to wait and see. In that time that we are waiting and seeing, ladies and gentlemen, and Mad Mike and I and Pat Man and a bunch of others will also be sitting back, Aaron Freeman will all be sitting back, waiting and watching and see how this is going to turn out. The Falcons cannot lose their identity. If they lose that identity of that 5-2 or 34 or however they're going to play it, and they revert back to playing 43 under defense or however, you know, playing a shitload of nickel and all that, in a vacuum, without taking any other variables into account, you are limiting yourself and you are becoming predictable. Of course, there's other variables that change the outlook of a defense, like Neo going down, and you know, now you have to change your identity a little bit because your players are not playing at the highest grade. But you still have to stay true to what you're doing. So one of my keys to Dan Quinn for the rest of the season is, will he continue to do the same thing that he has been doing with this defense, or will he try to deviate and continue to kind of, damn it, can't get my words out. Come on, bro. Damn it, McPherson with the $5 donation.
See, this is what happens when you go live, man. Things come out, things don't want to come out. Look, this is the beauty of live. Not everyone can do what we do, man.
Taylor McPherson with the $5 donation in the super chat. Where's Grayson Duke been? Campbell isn't cutting it. I think, and Mad Mike, I want you to go in on this as well. I think that Duke Riley and Jermaine Grace, they're sitting back there because they don't want to give up on Devonondre Campbell. Your thoughts on that, Mike?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. As much as this really pisses me off. Like I've said privately amongst us and everyone who is a part of the Discord. You can check it out. The link is in the description. You can come chat with us and whatnot. But I've stated this before with Devonondre Campbell. I don't know what the hell the Dan Quinn problem is, but he needs to come to the conclusion that Devonondre Campbell just ain't it. Falcons fan, he just isn't it. He is a mistake-prone linebacker. He screws up on everything possible. Gap integrity, coverage, taking on blocks. And that's the thing. He practiced well as soon as those lights come on. It's like he forgets who he is, what he can do. And that's just something I've said over and over again. You can practice well all you want, but when those lights come on, it's only a select few who can turn their game up. And Devonondre Campbell, man, I don't know where the hell his game goes when them lights come on, man.
And I have no clue. Not a single clue. Which, by the way, Mike, I sent you your. I don't know why I'm talking about this right now, but I sent you your half, right? I sent you your half
Yes, sir. You
from that
did.
last. Okay, cool.
You did. Yes.
Because I almost had a panic attack right here, right now. I'm like, wait, wasn't there
Yes,
one
you did.
donation that was like, hey, this is for both of you guys, and I'm like, wait, did I send that
Yes.
to Mike?
Yes. You
I
did.
see. This is what happens to my mind when I'm trying to interview for jobs because I got to pay the bills, and then all of a sudden I'm like, wait a minute, somebody donated to my channel and they said half is for Mike. I'm like, I don't remember what I did. Let's also go back to this train of thought as well. Is that like Jermaine Grace is probably your best bet to potentially replace Devonondre Campbell or succeed Devonondre Campbell because of size and speed and ability. But if we're not going to take a game like the Colts, we're not going to take a game like the Titans, which I'm not saying they're easy opponents, but I'm saying that if you're not going to take a couple of games every year that you go and you mark on the calendar and go, this group right here, why can you not look at guys behind the line, behind the first couple of guys, behind the first couple of starters, and start them out? Why can't we do that? Wayne Bolden with the $5 donation in the super chat. Man, I love the Falcons spread at -4 this game. Must win statement game. Let's go. I'm about it, man. I'm about it. I think as far as, I'm not a big betting man, so I don't know about Mike. Maybe he can answer this question better. But do you like the spread currently -4 for the Falcons?
I absolutely suck at betting. Okay, so no, I lose almost every time I bet. So hell no, absolutely. Sorry, but I suck. I'm not gonna lie. It's probably one of the few things that I suck at. And betting is not one.
Let me take this from just straight up Falcons talk to flipping the script for just a second and be like, let's all laugh at Aaron Rodgers for a second.
Oh my God.
Laugh at Aaron Rodgers.
I actually have a video. I actually made a video. I was intending on dropping it last night, but but I was pretty much I pretty much asked this question to people. Is Matt Ryan a more clutch quarterback than Aaron Rodgers? I want to know what everyone in the chat knows. Yes, it's simple. It's a yes or no answer.
Okay, let me put it this way. I didn't watch the game last night because I wasn't interested. I just wasn't interested in the game. I knew it was going to be a good game. I was just like, I'm not interested in Thursday Night Football. Never have been interested in Thursday Night Football. Never will be interested in Thursday Night Football.
So awkward.
It's a sham.
It's so awkward. It's just awkward. I don't know what it is. It's just awkward for me. If it's not the Falcons, even when it's the Falcons, Thursday football is so awkward for me. My body, I don't know. My mind just can't get hip to it. I don't know what it is.
But let me put it this way. We're talking about Aaron Rodgers, one of the most clutch, highly touted by NFL fans, those who think they know what they're talking about and those who know what they're talking about. They always put Aaron Rodgers top 5, top 10, top 5, top 3. Bruh, you threw an interception on like the 2-yard line into triple coverage because you couldn't think of anything else. You didn't challenge Matt LaFleur to be like, let's run this ball. We can put this ball into this. My wife said it this morning. She said it perfect. Miss Lieutenant Dan, go check out her YouTube channel. Miss Lieutenant Dan, she does gaming. She does music. And she talks a little smack about the New England Patriots and other teams shitting the bed. And, bruh, I got something to say. She came up this morning. I gave her her coffee this morning after being told this morning that I didn't get the job at this breakfast place. And she goes, "Wow, reminds me of the Patriots Seahawks Super Bowl. Teams just can't understand how to punch it in at the 1-yard line." I was like, shit.
Ooh,
my,
ooh,
my wife pulls no punches. She was like,
mm.
yeah. That's exactly what it was. You got there at the anywhere from the 4 to 1 yard line, and you're not trying to rely on the guys that you pay, the 5 guys in front of you, burgers and fries that you paid that are 300 plus pounds to push a defensive line and put it in. Are you serious right now? You went
Uh,
spread like 3 or 4 times. There's only 10 yards in that end zone. Maybe less. And we're talking about you trying to spread an 11-man personnel in that small of a condensed space and try to win a battle. You lost all 4 times. And on the 4th time, you throw an interception at the 1. Like, look, I know Aaron Rodgers is great. Okay, I
Man,
think he's a
look,
great quarterback.
I'm just gonna tell you the truth. I think Aaron Rodgers probably won. Make no mistake about this. Make no mistake about this. He has one of the greatest talent. He's one of the greatest talents of all time. Just look at his arm strength, what he can do with the football. Just his arm talent alone makes him a top 5 quarterback. I think he's that special for what he can do with the football. But I think he's one of the most overrated quarterbacks in NFL history. This guy over touted.
Yeah.
Over touted, overrated, or whatever. Over touted. Probably the right word for it. But this guy makes so many mistakes over and over and over again.
And nobody blames for it.
Nobody blamed him for it. Had Matt Ryan, and this is what I said on this video earlier on my channel. You guys can check that out. But and Matt Ryan made those mistakes, and Matt Ryan made those same mistakes over and over and over again. We saw this early in his career when he couldn't win a playoff game. Man, Falcons fans destroy him. Everyone over the league destroyed Matt Ryan. He can't do this. He can't do this. He can't get his team over the hump. He can't win a playoff game. He can't win an MVP. He can't get the team to a Super Bowl. Everything Matt Ryan has been accused of, Aaron Rodgers is going through it right now, and no one says this guy is just screwing up that Green Bay team. He's holding back that team. And the team is letting him do it because he's such a great arm talent.
He's got a lot of talent around him. Let's put this into perspective. I'm not saying that Aaron Rodgers should be completely blamed for the loss, because the Eagles came out, they played great football. A team which, by the way, the Atlanta Falcons have beaten. So I'm going to say right now, if the Falcons and the Packers were to match up against each other, I think it'd be a close battle, and I think the Falcons might be able to get a win on them. But the point of this bringing up Aaron Rodgers, and let's laugh at him for a second, is like Aaron Rodgers is still the crutch that the Green Bay Packers are trying to use to justify that this team is okay, when in reality there needs to be more talent added to this team as a whole. One game, because your defense was able to make some stops, was not enough to prove that you have a real defense. Okay? Aaron Rodgers, this guy, without talent around him, he is literally the crutch holding up the Packers organization. It's been noted and stated a million times. Can we please finally say that this GM, that this head coach, that this offensive coordinator, that this group right now, it ain't going to get it done until the Packers fix the real problem. That offensive line is bad. LaFleur is having too much of a bump-the-head moment because you got 2 big-ass egos in there, LaFleur and Rodgers.
Oh, my God.
And the team is going to lean heavily on Rodgers and be like, everything else is the problem. So they're in goddamn denial that this defense and this offensive line need fucking upgrades. Excuse my language. They just do. They need upgrades. Bad drafting. Bad free agent acquisitions. You're just not getting it done. And you're trying, oh no, the coaching staff's the problem. Aaron Rodgers
Clay
is
Matthews is
acting
old. He needs to
elite.
go. I mean, everything is everyone else. Everyone else's
And
fault.
it's easy.
It's the defense fault.
It's easy. It's easy for an outside
Mhm.
fan looking into another team and to be like, "There's your problem." Look, bro, that actually is the problem. Everybody's saying it's the problem.
All right,
Everyone. Even
everyone.
your own fans, Packers fans, are saying it.
Yes,
Aaron
sir.
Rodgers is a crutch for a team. The management's going to lean to Aaron Rodgers because that's what they do. They're going to blame the coaching staff. They're going to blame the defense. And they're going to blame the offensive line, which are all actual problems. But you leaning on Aaron Rodgers is the biggest problem.
You know what? You really
It's
know
a
what
team
pissed me
sport.
off, you know what I really pissed me off in that game. This is what really pissed me off, and I saw a few snippets of the game, but one thing I saw, no, I actually saw this on Twitter, and this really pissed me off with Aaron Rodgers. To see had any other quarterback on any NFL team, not named Tom Brady, had done what he did, this dude literally waved off the head coach. He waved off and said, "No, we're not doing this." Like, who in the bloody hell do you think you are to wave off your head coach? We're talking about your head coach. This is why the Packers are where they are right now, and they're not going anywhere anytime soon. Until Aaron Rodgers leaves, they're gonna suck because you give this guy way too much power. I've never seen a quarterback. I've never seen Tom Brady wave off the offensive coordinator. I've never seen him wave off Bill Belichick. I've never seen this.
No,
And I saw this on the field.
Yeah.
I've seen that on the field with Aaron Rodgers. He waved him off multiple times. Said, "No, we're not going to do this."
First of all, in the chat, guys are spitting facts right now. Guys are spitting facts.
I'm
and
reading
one of
it.
those is the Falcons were able to do what they need to do to stop the Eagles from running the ball, which forced them to be one-dimensional. And yes, they didn't have every single one of their best wide receivers on the field. But the Falcons were able to work with what they had, do enough offense, do enough defense to beat the Eagles. The Packers had an opportunity to beat the Eagles in a very similar fashion, and yet could not stop the run, could not stop the pass, allowed the Eagles to go down the field and score, and then did boneheaded mistakes, just like the Falcons, but at the worst possible times. And they leaned too heavily on Aaron Rodgers to get the job done. And there it is. There it is. The end.
Yeah.
The end of the story. Now, I get onto this part. Vash Lombardi. Big Cheese, the boss man. Coach. The big Cowboys fan that gets all the Cowboys fan big and mad. Law Nation. They're over there rubbing one off right now. Going, oh man. We got the Saints with no Drew Brees. Oh man, we're going to roll right over them. And look, I'm telling you right now. They're in a great situation to be able to get the money they need to get. I'm not going to talk about Dak Prescott. I don't care. He needs to get his money. He's been playing like he needs to get his money. Okay? That's not the conversation. The conversation at hand is there has never been a time that I've rooted for the New Orleans Saints, and I won't do it now. But I would not be upset if I turned and flipped my phone over on Sunday and suddenly the Dallas Cowboys has lost to the New Orleans Saints so that their ego doesn't get bigger than the Goodyear balloon. Okay? Because
that would be beautiful, by the way.
These kids are out here talking about how, oh, look, the Eagles barely won that game. Barely won against the Green Bay Packers. They were going to go in and score. And now they're talking about, oh, we're going to roll the Saints. We're going to roll the Saints. We're going to roll this division. We're going to just kick everybody's teeth in. And look, I got a lot of Cowboys fans to come through. And I ain't going to talk mad, bull about the Dallas Cowboys. They have a great team, a great game plan. They've got the great players that they've drafted. They put a great team together. But I'm telling you right now, their ego He's getting so big because they played a light, soft
Oh man.
we're talking some terribly soft mashed potatoes looking schedule. Okay? They have beaten up on basically half of the terrible teams in the NFL. And now they're going to play New Orleans without Drew Brees. And they're out here talking mad bull.
We're gonna beat the Patriots. We're gonna go to the Super Bowl.
They think they got it.
They think they
got it right now. They think they have it. Zeke, Dak, this defense, this offensive line. We got the wide receivers. We used a first-round pick on Amari Cooper. That was the best draft pick in the entire world, wasn't it? They are talking mad dope. And it's fine. You're allowed to when you're winning. But I'm just going to point out a couple of facts. Number one, you've played nobody. Number two, your division ain't shit.
Stinks.
Your division ain't shit. The Eagles are beatable. We just beat them.
Right.
Y'all are undefeated because you haven't beaten anybody. The Redskins are trash. The Giants are starting Daniel Jones, the savior of New York, and they beat the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Okay? And I know they're like kind of the bottom of my division, so I'm not, I'm not taking anything away from Daniel Jones. I just made a video about him. Go check it out. But you're scraping the bottom of the barrel saying that there's really going to be any major competition following you all the way until week 17. Okay? Philly's going to stumble. Washington ain't nothing. Sorry, Redskins fans. Sorry, your team's not that good. And the Giants don't have Saquon Barkley for like 8 weeks.
Yeah, that sucks.
So there's no one to challenge you for that division, and you're playing currently a weak schedule. Would not be surprised if the Cowboys were a 13-win team this year. 13-3. Walking right into the playoffs. And I know Vach is probably going to go on his channel Monday morning. He's going to talk mad dope about how they beat the New Orleans Saints. And then he's going to go, I listened to Dan's show, and look at us. Now we're 4-0. And we've been beating up everybody. And what are you guys? 1-3. Something like that. We lose to the Titans or something like that. And I will clap. I'll clap. I'll be like, yep, you're right. You're right. But if you guys lose to the Saints, if you lose to the Saints,
there's no coming back from that. No coming back from that.
And you are 3-1, I'ma hold that one over your head so high. I'ma hold it up with a 25-foot ladder. I'ma hold it and be like, you lost.
But that's exactly how they were when they lost to Green Bay. This is exactly how they were when they lost to Green Bay in the playoffs. They swore that they were going to the Super Bowl. And then they ran into Aaron Rodgers, and we destroyed Aaron Rodgers after they destroyed you. So, Cowboy fan, I don't know why you do this to yourself. This is not Lieutenant Dan saying this. I'm saying this, so don't come on his channel, trolling him. I said this. If you want to troll me, come on my channel and troll me. I said this. I don't know why you do this to yourself. You do this to yourself every year. You think you're going to the Super Bowl every year, and you come down to earth every single year.
I don't get it, man. I don't get it.
I don't.
Back to some Falcons related stuff. Austin Larkin is back on the team.
Yes.
This was after a couple of cuts, a couple of guys that they moved around. And honestly, I'm going to put it this way. With Kenjon Barner injured, and now Ito Smith is taking kick and punt returns currently. They also have a couple other guys like Mohamed Sanu and Russell Gage back there also taking some punts and kicks. I'm just gonna put this down. This team is wasting roster spots.
Oh my God.
On extra running backs, on extra returners, on talent that should have already been justified to take a spot in the preseason. This is what the preseason is for find the talent, who wins their spots, and get rid of all the rest. You don't have to worry about it. They have Quadri out there taking a bulk of running snaps today. They were out there running his ass. He has a teammate of the week jersey on. Does that mean anything? Not really.
Yeah, no.
But if I'm going to put down, hey, it's time to figure out who we are. It's time to, okay, Ito, we know who you are. We don't want you to get injured anymore. Let's just have you do a couple of punts and kicks, return them. Cool. It's time for Quadri, bro.
It really is.
Stop the madness. If Quadri comes out against the Tennessee Titans, who, by the way, have only allowed 3 receiving touchdowns, if I got this correct, 3 receiving touchdowns over the 3 weeks that they've played against wide receivers. Most of their touchdowns they got scored on are rushing touchdowns. I'm telling you right now, we're going to need to rely on this running game to do its job. And it's time to find out who Quadri Olison is. Stop the madness. We know who Brian Hill is. Cool. Give him a couple touches. We know who Ito Smith is. Cool. Save him for later. We need him later when we need to catch the ball. All right? We know who Devontae Freeman is. Okay?
Right.
There's nothing wrong with going, this is the Tennessee Titans we're playing. Yes, it's an AFC team. Yes, we could lose this game. But it's just time to put Quadri in. Stop the madness. Okay?
I don't get it. I thought Jamon Brown and Caleb McGarry had great chemistry on the right side of the field last game. And they were opening some big time holes for Freeman in that game. So if you put a more physical back and run to that side, I think they could really do some damage, and especially with Quadri Olison. Quadri, this guy's a load to bring down. He's a problem to bring down, and Freeman is not him. More physical back. Look, early in the game, especially late in the game when you have a big running back as physical as Quadri is, that's a problem to bring down. All right, and this is why I hope the Falcons get off to a fast start. It's because they have Derrick Henry. We don't want Derrick Henry running through us. All right, we got to get off to a fast start. It's going to be a major problem for our defense if he gets off to a fast start. So we have to get off to a fast start.
And this is what I was talking about too, Mike, was that, last game, we need to stop their run. But they had 2 really good tight ends. Why were we not playing that 5-2 look most of the game?
I don't know.
To force man-to-man coverage and make them have to throw elite passes. Make them have to throw competent passes. Make Jacoby Brissett throw the ball. Marcus Mariota has just been told that if he loses to the Atlanta Falcons, he's going to get benched.
Yeah.
And Tannehill is going to come in. Bruh, make it happen.
Yep.
Force them to throw the ball. Force them to throw it. Man-to-man coverage. Put them down there. Stack the box. Put pressure on them. That's when we've had our best pressure. That's when we've had our best pressure, is when we put 5 guys in the box and we go, who's rushing? You don't know. But we got heavy dudes that can push the line and they make you throw the ball awkwardly. Let's do it.
They did it towards the end of the game. They did it towards the end of the game. But the thing is that Jacoby Brissett was already in a rhythm, and it was pretty much too late. Once you get a quarterback in rhythm, it's too late.
Yep. So at this point, right now, I would go, look, we're 1-2. Okay? We're 1-2. Let's face the facts. Let's face reality. We don't have an identity on offense. Don't have it.
At all. At all.
If any of you in the chat are pretending like we have an identity or going to try to justify that we have an identity, look at the past 3 games and you tell me, what is our identity? Turning the ball over? Causing penalties? Not moving the ball as a running team? Passing too much? What's our identity?
I have no idea.
We don't have one. So let's turn this around and let's actually have an identity. Okay? Quadri needs to be out there. He just needs to be out there. Okay? We need to play that 5-2 defense or 34, however you want to say it. We need to play that defense. That's the defense that we need to play. That's the one they need to get familiar with. Stop the madness with this 4-man front and put 5 guys and burgers and fries down on that field and let them do work. That's freeing up Tack. It's freeing up Vic, allowing them to do coverages at linebacker that is forcing these check down throws, and we're stopping them short. That's what's effective. So, that's just my opinion. I think Austin Larkin should be promoted to the starting squad. I think that we should. This is not my words, actually. Honestly, this is something that somebody else has said. D-Pat has said that I was like, look, Patman, I know how you feel, and now I'm starting to feel it too. Kenjon Barner needs to go. Not that he's not a good returner, but either Kenjon Barner or Brian Hill needs to go. Pick one. Chat, pick one. Barner or Hill? Who needs to go? Who's wasting a roster space right now? Who's wasting a roster spot right now?
It's an absolute waste to have 2 running backs who really aren't doing anything. I don't understand that way of thinking. Like if you had a concern that your running backs couldn't hold up from the beginning, like I don't understand why you would keep Barner was an older back and Brian Hill on the squad. It's like he's had the injury bug himself, so I don't understand why keep both guys to begin with. That's just I would have kept what's the running back name? James. I would have kept him if that was the issue. Like it's just
we should have moved on.
We should have moved on from one or the other. Yeah, I don't get it. I really don't get it at this point. And the linebacker position is just I don't know what the hell's going on. Like I have no. I do, and this just seems like Dan Quinn, and this is something that I think that Dan Quinn needs to get over. There is a point as a head coach that you can't continue to be loyal to your players, and he is just so incredibly loyal to a guy that just isn't improving. Devonondre Campbell is who he is, and he is not it. We need to move on. Let Grace try. Let Duke try. Let Larkin try. But it's not Foyer. One of these guys, let them try. Because Devondre Campbell is not doing it. He's not doing it.
That, Mike, or I bring up a point that I think everybody in here needs to entertain. Let's just entertain this point for just a second. Why not? Why not use Devondre as a rusher only?
Yeah.
Why not make him a backup to Vic?
Yeah.
Why not make him a backup to Vic Beasley? So that he can rush the passer. And he can be the first contact on those edge plays and stop the run. Instead of being the second guy that's trying to get east to west, and that's not what he needs to do.
At all.
We know that one of his best positions is playing middle linebacker and staying right there, middle of the field. No other things can he do. But there is one thing that we don't talk about, and that is the ability to rush from Devondre Campbell, which is effective. It is effective. Why not move him to outside linebacker with that Vic Beasley stuff? Let him cover the flats, let him attack the quarterback, and just see if it works. Because all we have is Vic, Tack, and Larkin right now. That's all we got. That's all we got right now.
I mean, they're so bad that we have Adrian Claiborne playing outside linebacker.
That's all we got.
Oh my gosh, man.
I'm the guy that's always thinking outside of the box. Always thinking steps ahead. Sometimes that bites me in the ass. But I'm going to sit back here and go, look. If it's not working, try not to get blood out of a stone, right? Try not to get madness to happen. I know that we live in a day and age where if you're loyal to your guys, it usually works out. But at this point, with Campbell, let's just move him around. Let's move him to a different position. Let's move him to a place that maybe we can try to get the most out of him and allow a guy like Grace to take the snaps. We all want Grace. Look, I laughed at it early on. I'm going to be completely honest, and Mad Mike can poke me with a fork on my back. But I think everybody was into the Grace train. I wasn't. I was like, Jermaine Grace, are we kidding right now? Like, what has he really proven? And all it took, and this is why I keep pushing Mad Mike, and I push D-Pad all the time, we don't know who they are until we start them. All right? We don't know who Quadri Olison is until we start him. We can't play safe. Sorry, this is a moving train. So you either start him and get him to play, or you don't, and they sit back there, and they're just a big-ass question mark back there. We didn't use the 5 games that we had in the preseason effectively. We didn't. We did not use it effectively. We don't know anything about any of the guys. We don't know anything about any of the guys. The only thing we do know, though, is that Jermaine Grace, when given the opportunity, when he was starting, when he was getting opportunities next to the starters, that kid looked fire.
He really did.
That kid looked fresh. We're talking about like just straight out of the fryer, Popeye's chicken in a bucket, bro.
Yeah, he was hungry, crispy. Man. He was hungry, Joe. He looked like he was ready to take that next step.
So you know what? To me, it's like y'all can. I'll eat my crow. I'll eat my crow, but only if we put him on the field, because it's time for Jermaine Grace, bro. It's time.
It really is.
And you know what? Also, it is time for. It's time for Duke Riley.
Riley.
It's not his problem.
Yes.
It's not his problem. It's not Duke Riley's problem. He's not on the field. It's that this coaching staff is so scared that if they get away from any of the guys that are the veterans or the guys that they trust, even if they're doing badly, they freak out. Oh God! If we play anybody other than Freeman, or maybe even just some simple snaps to Ito Smith, oh no! Oh, it's so foreign! Oh no! Bruh.
I don't get it.
Bruh. Put Quadri Olison in the game. Put Brian Hill in the game. We know they are. We don't know what they can do when they get the starts, but from the tape we've seen, we know that they might actually give us opportunity. Brian Hill can run the ball like any good runner, okay? He can catch the ball like any good runner, okay? He can be an extension of your passing game. So can Quadri Olison. We saw him during the preseason. He broke him off, bro. I don't care about the level of talent. Let's go put him out there, bro. Come
on. Just see what they can do. At this point, what do you have to lose?
Mike, do you agree with this? I see people in the chat saying it right now. Should we move Devonondre Campbell out to an outside linebacker rushing defensive end position and go back and forth between Duke Riley and Jermaine Grace as the guy to play next to Dion in depending on whether we want a coverage situation or we want a linebacker to go down into the box and go hit? Should we do something similar to that and also promote Larkin to the main squad so that we can start rotating these guys through and have guys like Brian Hill inactive for this coming Sunday game, but have Quadri Olison go, okay, let's go out there. Let's go have a heavy running game. Let's go find out what we got.
Sorry, man. I got a little sneezing fest going on right now.
Yeah, you're good.
But, yes, I think, to be honest, man, our linebacking core, just Dion is not playing well. He's not playing up to his potential.
Yep.
Let's be honest about that. Devondre, excuse me, man, I don't know what the hell's going on. But yeah, I got this little sneezing thing going on. But why not? Why continue to watch guys struggle?
Bad dad joke.
I don't get it. Why not? See, I'm the only one to get these. I hear them so much. Why?
Look, that's not my problem. That's Dan
Why?
Queen's problem.
That's not.
All right. I mean, but this is one of those things that bugs a guy like Pat.
What? Why the hell?
Are
Why?
we doing with Sinai? There are teams that have
I don't
tackles
get it.
dropping like flies, and we're not.
I don't get it. It's like we're wasting. I don't know what. I seriously have no idea what they are doing, and maybe this is a depth issue down the line. They're trying to keep everyone fresh when all the rest of the teams, they are.
But you can't be a first half of the year team.
Yes. That's the thing. That's the thing, man. You're sacrificing the now for later. What if you don't have the later?
But that was the.
What if you don't have the later?
Is that a bigger problem? We're like, oh, we don't want to. We want to get some of the guys fresh, for the last 8 games when we have to play the division.
Yes.
But we don't want to.
What if you don't?
Any of those guys in the first couple of games, and we want to just play vanilla through the rest of those games, and not show anything because that's when we're gonna make our move, bruh. You got 16
I don't
games,
get it, man.
Only 16 of these things. The league's pushing for 17.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you dare tell me.
I don't want to hear that weight crap. I'm just going to be honest. I don't want to wait and see. Play your guys, win games, and that's it.
I'm going to take my
keyboard
and I'm going to throw it through virtual space and smash Mad Mike in the face every time he says wait and see. I swear to God, it triggers me so badly. It triggered me so badly. It's the worst. I mean, I chuckle, but underlining under this face, I'm just like, I swear to God.
He hates it. He hates it so much because I see it a lot. I see it so much.
Just a quick story before we go into some more talk, but there was one time where we were just talking about non-football stuff. We were talking about like food or something, and Mike goes, we're just gonna have to wait and see if it's gonna be any good or not. And I lost it.
I remember that.
I was just like, wait and see. I could go up to the drive-thru and go get the shit, and I won't have to wait and see. I'll just see it right now.
There you go.
Oh my God.
Oh, he goes off. He goes off every time.
It just hurts my soul. Like,
oh man.
See, like,
Mike, if you say wait, see one more fucking time. Like, oh my God, man.
I'll say this. There are some things that we have to wait and see how it morphs or changes or how it develops. But there are things that it's like you don't have to have a wait and see mentality with Quadriolison or with Duke Riley or with Aluakon, which, by the way, we haven't talked about Aluakon at all.
Oh, man. That really irritates me. It irritates
me. He's gotten
me.
Opportunities and it hasn't looked amazing. They haven't looked good. Okay? But it's like, do we really have to wait and see for Zacchaeus?
Yeah.
Can we not put him on the field in some looks?
Yeah. I think he'll be a better option.
About Sanat? Like, what is there to wait and see about?
I don't. That situation blows my mind. I have no idea what the hell's going on with Sanat.
Shit, man. Like, I don't know. I don't know. That just man.
And by the way, we've been trying to figure this Sanat thing out for a long time, and we failed miserably. Painful. I have no idea.
Painful. Yeah. So, Mike, was there anything else that you wanted to touch on, man? Was there something else that you wanted to throw down? Because I have one more thing I want to talk about.
No, not really. I just wanted to pick on Aaron Rodgers. That's all.
I wanted to pick on.
I love when other quarterbacks fail, because it makes Matt Ryan look so good. I love when other quarterbacks fail, especially the elite quarterbacks. I love when they fail.
They ain't any different than Matt Ryan, man. And I was just watching. You know what? I sent it to you guys, but I want to relate it to the chat because they're watching now. I want to tell you a little tiny story. This was the last thing that I wanted to talk about. Was the greatest moments of Matt Ryan's career. And I sent a video to some of the Grounders staff, and I said, "Hey, you guys remember when Matt Ryan, with like 9 seconds left, 8 seconds left, throws a bomb to what was that, Michael Jenkins, I think?
Jenkins on the sideline, yeah.
On the sideline against the Bears in 2008, sets us up with 1 second left for Jason Elam to kick a field goal, which he drills."
Yep.
And the legend of Matt Ryan just absolutely grew to a level that we had no idea it was going to be like that, you know? But on that same note, all of the times that I remember, like the comeback versus the Packers, the win against the Baltimore Ravens, I believe that was 2011 or 2009 when we played them on a Thursday night.
Yeah.
You know, the times, the time against the Panthers where he said, "Get the hell off my field," you know. Matt Ryan has done some things as a quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons that, to me, just makes him one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time in Falcons history.
Really, yeah.
Dan Fouts, I love you. Chris Chandler, cool little story with the Falcons. Mike Vick had some great dynamic plays that have Falcons history. You know, but I can't. Matt Ryan has done some things. Matt Ryan has done some things. Wearing his jersey right now, that have just, I don't know, it kind of rejuvenated me rewatching that performance. Like,
yeah,
Julio with 300 yards, Matt Ryan makes that happen. You know, he's a GOAT.
And even I've said this over and over again. It's like even the Super Bowl performance. Like people say that he could have done more, but that last throw to Julio Jones was an impossible freaking throw. I don't think many quarterbacks could have done that. Maybe Aaron Rodgers is probably the only quarterback who could have put that ball in that spot with the velocity on the run that Matt Ryan did, and it's all for naught. Like this guy does so many great things for this organization. I think we take him for granted. Like a lot of Falcons fans just take him for granted, man.
I've done it before. I think it was Chris Edwards who did the video. And I've done it before. You can go see my Matt Ryan rant. But even though Matt Ryan right now has thrown so many interceptions, he's thrown quite a few touchdowns as well. I look at Matt and I go, he's not the problem.
Yeah.
Is he part of the guy that we need to continue to put talent around? Yes, but it shouldn't be something that we kind of like we down him on, you know? Yes. Every team needs quality talent. Tom Brady needs quality talent.
That's the dumbest crap I've heard. I'm sorry, but that's just the dumbest crap I've ever heard. Any person saying that a quarterback has too much talent, get the freak out of here.
He has too much talent to fail.
He has too much. He has Julio Jones. Like, who freaking cares? Tom Brady had Randy Moss. He's a Hall of Famer, so shut it up, okay?
Yeah, I mean, and Tom Brady has lit it up with quite a few great luxuries, which I mean, and any team would have loved to have Gronk, Randy Moss. They had Ocho Cinco at one point. You know, they were able to acquire talent from everywhere and be able to put some amazing talent around him. And even then, Julian Edelman, Wes Welker, Danny Amendola, they've been able to acquire people that have been cast off from other teams or said that they can't make anything happen out of those players, and they put out amazing players. So it's I think the Ryan haters that want to come out and they want to say, Matt Ryan has too much talent to get it done. I think the numbers themselves prove that Matt Ryan is more than an above average quarterback. It really just needs to come with that total package, how the special teams does their job, how the defense does their job. And honestly, there have been points where Ryan has looked shaky, but the wide resume that Matt Ryan has put together has said that this guy should be in the Hall of Fame. Definitely. And there should definitely be a story written about Matt Ryan, whether he gets a ring or not at the end of it. This journey of his, I think, is just amazing, and it's been well categorized. I think he'll be here for quite a few more years, and we'll have to figure out things that go on. But I've said it before, and I say it again. I think an offensive head coach or an offensive coordinator that wants to completely take control of this team and do it his way or her way, that's the person that we need currently. Because I think that trying to fix this defense, I don't think we need to try to fix it. I think we need to renovate it. Like it's a nice building.
Yeah.
It's a nice house.
I totally agree.
You know, it's a very, very good foundation. But what the defense needs is a remodeling. This has got a lot of talented players on it, but they're not being used properly. I've said it before.
I always said that the Falcons need a Rex Ryan, a old school defensive coach who's great at teaching the basics. That's what they need.
I've seen a couple people in the chat say that the last thing that we should finish off on the show for the next 3 minutes is talk about Isaiah Oliver and his struggles. And I think that it's important for us to, this is just going to be my quick take on Isaiah Oliver. I think that we shouldn't treat him like Robert Alford.
Yeah.
You know? I think that time has come and gone. And your memory of whatever has happened to Robert Alford, I see a lot of positives from Isaiah Oliver, and I see a lot of learning experiences from Isaiah Oliver. And I don't think that we need to sit here and try to compartmentalize who Isaiah Oliver is until he's had a full season of play. I think a lot of people will want a direct, quick answer now, and I think that is not going to do Isaiah Oliver any justice, because in this group right now, he hasn't even played a full season.
I know where Dad is going. Wait and see, man.
I don't think it's wait and see. I think it's allow Isaiah Oliver to mature.
Just be patient. Just be patient. You have to wait and see and be patient. Patient. Like, this guy's a first year starter.
Yeah.
He only had one start, and that was because of an injury, a quote unquote injury for Robert Alford. That's it. That's all he's had.
And he's not going to be. Quinn did the right thing for Oliver.
Yes.
Which was, don't do what Mike Smith with Robert Alford did, which is thrust him in the service, get him in there, go ahead and do anything because of the first round pick. No. Isaiah Oliver, second round pick. He fell from the first round to the second round. He needs maturing. He needs time to grow. He needs to be given an opportunity to go through the punches, you know?
And he's not the thing, I'm sorry to cut you off, but the thing that he's not struggling with, Isaiah Oliver is struggling with, is not football, it's talent. It's just the small, intricate things that wide receivers know how to get open, and he doesn't understand that yet. How to read formation, how to read what his opponent is doing to him. That's what he's struggling with. It's not tackling, it's not catching the ball, it's not eyeing. It's trying to figure out what and how wide receivers are getting open. And once he learned that, everything is going to be on autopilot. It's going to be autopilot. You're going to see his talent shine through.
Yeah, I think, and Cody Paul said a pretty good little bit here, although he's the one that's kind of been leading this charge. It's like, I think one of the mistakes for Oliver last year was the moment that Alford went down, Oliver should have been the starter and stayed as the starter the entire year, because that was his opportunity, and he played well enough, in my opinion, that he should have been given those opportunities to start and then have a full offseason to go, what were the mistakes that I made last year that I can work on? Because that's always something that I think we all forget, is that we as non-athletes are not given the opportunity to look over a full 365 days and go, what could I do better at my job this coming year that I didn't do well last year? Because a lot of us just go back to work and do our things. And, as content creators, I think that we kind of get to do that. But as far as like athletes are given the luxury to go, I played 16, 17, however many games you played in the year. And, what are the things that I didn't do well last year that I can improve on this coming year? A lot of guys in basketball work on their free throw shooting, or they work on their three-pointers, or they work on their posting up. I think guys, in hockey work on their defensive play.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of guys from different positions in the NFL, they are most likely going to be working on their individual skill sets, as far as like quarterbacks working on their touch, or defensive players working on their forms of attack or coverage, or putting themselves in the right situations. Oliver, to me, I think it's getting his head turned around. I think just some of the coverage things of playing man-to-man and playing zone, he's going to have to learn and take the bumps. And I think people are so quick to gun him down as an issue on this team, when it's like, we all knew he was going to have to, play against some of the best wide receivers in the league this year, and he was going to struggle. So I don't understand why people, pulled that card. But I think it's a little bit out of fear as well. After this, we're going to be live on twitch.tv/unintentional grounding. We're going to play some video games with you guys and talk. If you guys want to roll on through and have a little fun, link is in the description of the video. Go check out the link also in the description of this video for Mad Mike Sports. If you aren't already subscribed to him, go head over to his channel. Check him out. Mike, closing thoughts, because we're going to be live on what is today? Today's Friday. So this was our Falcons Friday episode.
Friday, yes.
But we're going to be live after the game on Sunday against the Titans. And those of you that want to jump into the Discord and talk some Falcons football while the game is going on are most welcome to do so. It's in the description here. Unintentional grounding on Discord. Any closing thoughts on what you think is going to happen for the game against the Tennessee Titans? What are your keys to victory?
Well, it's three things for me. First one, obviously, you have to get off to a fast start. You can't continue to get off to a slow start offensively, and the defense is still trying to find its way. So the offense has to get off to a fast start, early, quick, run the ball more. The second one is obviously penalties. You have to cut down on the penalties and more. Another thing that they're not really paying a lot of attention to as far as fans, they just see 16 penalties. Dan Quinn kind of alluded to this, that the refs aren't really consistent with these penalties. So we're going to hold players to a standard. These refs need to be held to a higher standard. There's no consistency with these penalties. And the third one is the turnovers. We're not getting turnovers. We're turning the ball over and we're not getting turnovers. That's a recipe for disaster. So we have to get more turnovers. The defense have to get more turnovers.
Couple points of interest very quickly. Dan Quinn said Ken John Barner will not play this Sunday. Matt Bosher is ready to go. And also Ito Smith will play on Sunday. So that is that. So do you think that they give any Brian Hill or Quadri Olison activations for Sunday? Do you think that they get any touches at all?
I hope so. I mean, this Dan Quinn is. I still don't know what the hell he's doing with Sanat. So I can only hope, because I swore that he was going to get the start against the Colts and nothing happened. So I've been wrong. We have been wrong a lot of times, Falcons fans. We're not always right. I was wrong about Sanat.
Yep. Make sure you guys check out the Wednesday wrap-up video that I put down. It's a new playlist here on Unintentional Grounding. You can go under the playlist there, and you can go check out the Wednesday wrap-up. something that I have been kind of pushing together, and we're going to be doing another Wednesday wrap-up, is coverage of all the NFL teams. I pick out one team effort that I liked and one individual player effort. This last Wednesday wrap-up was the New Orleans Saints defense and offense, how they were able to do it without Drew Brees, and also Daniel Jones, who I guess we can't laugh at Daniel Jones anymore. I mean, I guess
Man, I love Daniel Jones. I love that
Jones
kid, man.
Is the savior of New York. I guess he's gonna, he's gonna do his thing, and I was wrong about Daniel Jones. I mean, I guess it's it's fine. It's whatever. To take my L. It's okay.
Hey, I took my
feelings
L.
aren't hurt. It's all right. Just gonna have just me, myself, and I over here. It's okay.
Hey. Nothing wrong being wrong. It's okay.
Anyway, rise up, stay grounded. I hope you guys all have a wonderful day. My name is Lieutenant Dan. This was Nothing But the Facts and Truth that you're listening to here on Unintentional Grounding Live, here with Mad Mike Sports. We will talk to you guys real soon. Peace, hair grease, rise up, and stay grounded.
Yes, sir.